like to take this opportunity to thank each of you for submitting your questions to the Facebook page. We appreciate it. The questions are inspiring, and we're hopefully going to answer all those questions for each of you that submitted them. I'm going to read just your initials when I answer the questions, so hopefully you'll figure out which answers are to which questions that were submitted. But hopefully it's general information that will help all patients who are viewing our website and our Facebook page. So I'm going to start with HH's question. Her question is 40 too old to conceive, and is in vitro different from artificial insemination? It's kind of a long question just in one line, but essentially at 40 years old, no, for most patients it's not too old to conceive, but at 40 years old it does make things more difficult, and the amount of time you have to conceive is actually much shorter. So therefore, in those cases, we do typically advise more aggressive treatments because we know that we don't have quite as much time. But every patient is individually different, and their ovaries are different at age 40. So it's really important to assess the individual's ovarian status to determine what the options are. Some patients have lots of eggs, lots of time, well, relatively lots of time, and others, they have very low eggs, and therefore they have a very limited amount of time. So in those cases, we would want to be very aggressive in trying to use those eggs before the time ran out. The second part of the question is in vitro fertilization, or IVF, different from artificial insemination? The answer is absolutely. Artificial insemination is an older term that's referencing a technique that we use called intrauterine insemination, or IUI, which is really where we take the male sperm, wash it, process it, and place it into the woman's uterus, but the sperm still has to get into the woman's egg inside the body, create the embryo. Embryo has to be transported to the uterus, and then grow inside the uterus. So in that case, we're really just helping the sperm out where they need to go. In vitro fertilization, or IVF, is actually much different, where we take eggs out of a woman's ovaries, we take the sperm from the male, and in the laboratory, we actually put the sperm and the egg together to make an embryo. The embryo is typically grown in culture for several days and then tested, and then determine when we have a nice healthy embryo, which embryo to place back into the uterus for pregnancy. So very different processes. So I'm glad she asked the question. All right, thank you guys for joining us. Thank you for submitting those questions. We really appreciate it. We're looking forward to doing a live session on Facebook where you guys can submit questions live to us. So watch out for that. Hopefully this was helpful for you. We'll see you again.